All right. Hi, friends. It looks like we are live. I want to make sure
I'm
because
waiting for the computer to catch up.
there we go. Because it took forever for the little go live button to pull up
There.
on the stream, but I think we're good to go. So
It looks like it.
here we are. All right. Hi, friends. Hopefully, everybody's excited for a sneak peek. I'm pulling this up on my phone real quick. So when we go to flip it all around, um, it will be there. I'll be able to hopefully see comments and such.
That's a good idea. It's harder to see those on both. I think I'm going to do the same thing.
And my phone is being wonky. Let me just reset it. Here we go.
It's just technology today.
Nothing wants to work for me. Goodness. There we go. There we go. Okay. Well, looks like we have a pretty full house
There we go.
already. We're going to give it a couple more minutes for everyone to find us. We are sneak peeking our next release, which you don't have to wait too long for because it is happening this Friday.
I say this is one of the really nice ones.
Absolutely. It's a very quick turnaround time from our combined live to our release. Um, Good. So excited to see y'all here. Kinnery is in the moderating in the comments underneath the Pinkfresh name, since you see both Heather and I here on screen. So that is who is moderating. Now, we do get a giveaway at every live, but combined lives are always a little bit special.
Of course.
And for today's combined live, we're going to give one lucky winner the entire May release.
It's such a good one on these release days. I
Such a
love it.
good one. The May release is named Happiness, and how aptly put. We're going to make someone very happy today.
It's a really pretty release, and we're actually showcasing a good bit of it. We're
We
overlapping on
are.
one item we're using, and then we're using both two separate. So you're going to get a good solid three sneak peeks today.
We really are. I don't know if there's anything else we need to go over, Heather. Can
Get
you
the
think about,
giveaways.
we've talked about the giveaway. Oh,
How
how
to
to
win the
win the
giveaway.
giveaway. Will you do go over that?
Sure, I can talk about that. We're all on like holiday weekend. It feels like a Monday, but it's a Tuesday. So you'll just have to bear with us as we get our brains wrapped around it being Tuesday instead of Monday. It's the
I
Monday
know.
Tuesday. All right. So most of you are already doing what you need to enter to win the giveaway, and that's just leaving lots of comments. And these release lives tend to have lots of comments because you all are excited about the giveaway. So just bear in mind that Lee and I might miss some of those comments. Kinnery will be there and hopefully we'll catch most of those. But if we all miss them and you ask a question or something that needs an answer, just pop in and ask it again. I promise we're not ignoring you. They just sometimes fly by too quick. But all of those will count for an entry. Kinnery will pick that at the end of the live today. And then another way you can enter is by sharing this video so more people can come enjoy the sneak peek and seeing what we have coming up. So you can grab the link, you can share it in a direct message to a friend, you can post it on your own social media, or if you're part of a crafty group and you know it's allowed in the rules, you can post it there. And then come back and leave that extra comment letting us know you shared. Otherwise, we won't see it and find it, but then you'll get that extra entry. And then we also really love it if you can hit that thumbs up button as well. That doesn't necessarily count as an entry, but it helps more people find us and helps the reach. And if you're enjoying it, we're really grateful when you do that.
Absolutely. T.K. Weston shared it perfectly. Long weekend brain fog. Like that is absolutely what
That's
it is.
a perfect name for it. And my kids were down with kind of the flu. My daughter, I mean, they're not kids anymore, they're adults, but still, when you're someone in the house is sick with the flu, that just kind of low key the whole weekend. And it was cloudy and rainy and dreary. So I think that was like triple brain fog from all of that too.
Yeah, for sure.
One other thing that we didn't mention, normally we put links to the new or to the
Oh yeah.
products that we're using in the video description. Obviously, most of it today is sneak peeks. I did put just like the inks I'm using and some of that stuff. So feel free to refer to that in.
I am not using inks today. I'm doing something a little different. So
I know
I
Leah's
didn't think
gonna
anything.
totally blow your guys' mind. So on
All
that
right,
note, we do
my
have a lot
hot
to do.
foil machine is heated up. So we should probably
Let's
get
go for
going
it.
if we're going to get these cards done.
All right,
I am going to take over.
she's gonna go
Um,
first.
it's not letting me spotlight myself.
It's that whole technology. I can just mute and we can put it on speaker mode if you want to do that for now.
Yeah, I think that's what we'll have to do. Okay,
Okay.
let's do that.
All right.
Oh, I can pin myself. There we go. Got it. It's a little different when you're doing live versus when you're in an actual meeting. All right, I am going to switch my camera down to my desktop. Bear with me 1 minute. All right, there we go. So you'll see my machine is all heated up. The first thing that I am going to focus on is our new twist pattern press plate. Now, as we've mentioned quite often since releasing our press plates, is they're dual purpose products, and I'm going to showcase them foiled today. So let's go ahead and get this super fun pattern. I'm loving this pattern. It's just so awesome. Let's get it on there and get it heated up. We're going to foil this twice today. So you're going to get to see it foiled 2 times. So nice, good exposure on how beautifully it foils. And while that's heating up, I'm just going to set up my desktop really quickly for foiling. Now, you won't be able to see all of it, but I'm going to try to showcase as much of the process as I can on my little limited space here. And yes, Amy, this does have a coordinating die for cutting the element out, which, we try to make our products as versatile as possible. So having that extra die is really super nice. Now I'm going to foil this twice today. I'm going to foil it once in this Rainbow Dreams hot foil. Now this Rainbow Dreams hot foil is from Thermoweb. It's not the Spellbinders version. You'll notice there is some glittery shimmer in there. And then I'm also going to foil it in standard polished brass. So we're going to foil it twice. Then we're going to let Heather take over while my solid hot foil plate heats up. And then I will come back and we'll finish out and do the solid foiling as well. So timer is done. Let's go ahead and get this first set foiled. Now I've already got my panels and stuff ready to go. So because my platform is hard to remove from my base and I don't want there to be any shifting with the sandwich in place, I'm going to remove that first. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the foiling. So I'm going to add the foil pretty side down onto the heated up press plate. I'm going to add my cardstock next. This is 100-pound Hammermill smooth white cardstock, and then the 2 shims that come with the Glimmer hot foil system. The frosted green shim is the heat resistant shim, so it is the one that technically should go closest to the heat source, just for reference. And then I'm going to slowly run it through my die cut machine. I'm using a Platinum 6, but I think Spellbinders has a nice, good list of all of the die cut machines that the Glimmer system works with. And then let's take a look and see how beautiful this foiled. Look at that. Perfect results. Just totally lovely. Look at that. Just love that. All right, we're going to let this heat back up. We are going to run it one more time, and then we're going to do the rainbow version. And for reference, here's what that rainbow looks like again. It's super pretty, super sparkly. It's very fun. I love it. Yes, some platforms release really easily from their base. Mine just doesn't. So it is easier for me if I release it first so I don't cause any shifting of the foil or anything like that. I don't want my image to halo or anything like that. So super fun for foiling. Heather is actually going to showcase this and better press. So the awesome thing about the press plates is they are a dual purpose product. I'm using mine for foiling. Heather is going to show you how beautifully they work with the better press. And then you can also dry emboss with them. So really fantastic dual purpose product in one thing. Alicia is asking if the die cuts it out in one piece or in strips. It is just one piece. So these might throw you off a little bit. Those are just the connector points. It keeps it all in one piece. All right, there we go. Timer's off. So let's go ahead, do the same exact steps that we did before. So I'm going to release that platform from the base. I am going to put the foil pretty side down. And then I'm going to add my cardstock, same cardstock as before. I pretty much exclusively foil on hammermill cardstock unless I'm doing something more specialty or some occasionally a colored cardstock, but typically I do get the best results on the hammermill smooth white cardstock. And then I'm just going to run it through one more time. And let's take a look. Oh, goodness, that came right off, but I got perfect results. Tiny, tiny tad bit of overfoiling on those corners, but nothing to write home about. And look at how fun that turned out. All right, I am going to remove this guy. I am going to get the solid hot foil plate on my system, and now I am going to unpin myself and let Heather take over for the better press section.
All right. So as Leah mentioned, I am going to use the twist pattern for press plate, but I'm going to do a little bit of press plating. This is the other set that I'm going to feature today. So I'm going to actually start with this. This one's called Beautiful Branch, and it's got, of course, the stamp, the die, the stencils, and I'm gonna use actually I've hot foiled it already too, so I'm gonna use that, but I'm also gonna use a press plate version of it. Because again, we've got that multi-purpose, but I did those in advance since Leah was already showing foiling. I wanted to kind of simplify a little, but I want a little bit of a background, kind of a soft look, and I'm actually going to use a trick that Carissa Wiley did in one of her videos. Because generally with press plates, you have to use either watercolor paper or the specialty cotton paper. Carissa found a way to use a piece of this. I've used this a couple times. This is the cotton better press paper. And then you put your colored cardstock or plain cardstock over the top. So you're going to run them through together. But if you press plate on the cardstock, because it's got that cotton paper behind, it gives something that's going to take that impression and it puts it on the colored cardstock. I hadn't tried it yet, so I was pretty excited to see that it actually worked. So I'm going to tape this in place. And again, I've got a piece of cotton better press and my colored cardstock layered together. And I'm going to just tape this onto my plate. And this is going to allow me to do, actually, I'm going to tape it here because I don't think my images get overlap there. All right, and I'm going to do kind of a tone on tone because I've got this pink cardstock and then I've got cherry blossom ink. So I'm going to use that. And I'm just lightly, I mean, when I say lightly, I know Spellbinders kind of shows a twist, but I've almost found with these, just letting the weight of the pad itself, I'm not pushing down, just a very, very gentle, giving it a little rub over the top and kind of looking to make sure, excuse me, that all of it's covered with ink. And I just kind of layered this on one part of my panel. Excuse me, still got a tiny bit of a cold I'm getting. And then I can reverse it and do the other side. So let's put this over the top. You can see how I've got my pink cardstock and the cotton paper on the other side. And we're gonna run it through. I felt like this was such a great tip to stretch and get some more wave to use the better press. And then you can take one piece of that more expensive paper and get more options with it. And look at how beautiful that is. The tone on tone, it absolutely has that lovely better press impression. Now I'm going to ink this up again. I'm not even going to move anything. I'm just going to do the same thing to ink it up. And then I'm going to take this and rotate this around because I want it on that top part just to create a background. So, oops, and I noticed, hold on, before I do this, my paper, I can see, there we go. It was just the underneath one was slipping a little bit. So wouldn't have affected anything too bad. All right, let's run this one through again now, and we'll get that other look there. All right, move this out of the way for a minute. Just a little more room to work with. And there again, we've got that beautiful, and I did plan that wrong. I should have hit the corners, I guessed, but that's not even going to show by the time we put our thing over the top. Let me carefully get that tape off. I kind of pressed that in there in the wrong spot, but we'll just cover that up with our twist plate. And next time I'll remember the corners was the proper one to do with this. But there we go. There's that beautiful, I know you can't see it on screen probably really well, but you've got that beautiful better press texture and the tone on tone color. So I think we're going to go back on shared screen now that Leah's solid hot foil plate, and she's going to do that while I do the same thing with my twist pattern. I'm going to use that cotton piece again. And then I'm just going to use hammer mill cardstock so that I get the more crisp white color cardstock than the cotton by doing that.
That was really pretty, Heather. Sorry, I didn't know the order you were going to do things in, so I
Oh,
didn't
well, and
realize
if you're
you were
not
going to
ready, I
do that
can
one
keep going too.
first. Okay. So my solid foil plate is also nice and heated up. So I'm going to foil that leftover rainbow foil exactly the same as I foiled the initially, but instead we're going to use this big solid plate to create the reverse image. So I'm going to remove the platform from the base, and then I'm going to line up that twist pattern as best as I can on there. And I am using that same white cardstock, and I'm going to run it through my machine. Gotta find the plates. There they are. Same as before, but I will run it back and forth this time just because I want to make sure I really press that foil down into the paper. And you don't really have to worry about any type of haloing or shifting with the solid hot foil plate.
I
What are
saw
you
someone
doing
was
over there?
asking if I took, I lost where the comment is, something if I took the shim out. And I didn't on this. I debated on doing that, and it might be worth playing with those shims. I noticed it cut a little tiny bit deep, but it still didn't cut through on the middle, so I'm really not that worried about it. But it probably depends on the weight of your cardstock that you use. And then someone asked if the cotton paper also got an impression, and it did get a tiny bit, but I've noticed I can reuse it multiple times and it'll still work well. So that's kind of a bonus as well.
And so I only slightly peeled my foiling back a little bit, and I noticed that it is not coming off perfectly. And sometimes colored foil can just be a little finicky. So I am going to let my plate heat up again, and I'm going to run it through one more time, and hopefully we'll get a little bit better results. In the end, I'm going to be placing some stuff over top of it, so I'm not going to worry too much if it ends up not being perfect, but I'm going to try it just one more time. And that's the great thing about this is you can just line it back up, try it again, and try to salvage the little bits that are pulling up. It's not terrible. There's just little pieces here and there that are pulling up. So I'm going to just try it again and see if I can get it to adhere to that paper a little bit better.
Another question someone asked about that cotton piece behind, if it also gets the embossed texture and could be used as a subtle background. You could, it definitely did get the texture on there. But for me, I'm just going to use that one. So far, I've used it, I think now at least a good 4 times as a backing piece. So it's got lots of texture on there now, but it's still working for me to keep doing this with other cardstock. So I feel like I can just kind of beat the snot out of this piece and use it up. And then I've gotten a lot more impressions out of that one piece. So it's kind of a good cost-effective way of stretching that cotton paper to me.
All right, let's just try this one more time and see if we can get a little bit better job on it. It's okay if it's not perfectly lined up. I'm going to run that through one more time. And I might honestly like focus where I noticed it was coming off, which was right at those edges. So I might just double roll those areas. It also may be time for me to replace my hot foil system. I've used this one a lot, so it may be time to break out the backup, the backup hot foil system.
Yep. All right. Oh, the solid hot foil plate is back in stock. I think you
Oh, it
mentioned that
is.
already.
Oh, perfect. And you want to know what, friends?
That worked
I'm getting
perfect.
pretty fantastic results that time. So
Beautiful. Oh, that's so
I'm
pretty.
glad that I reran it through. I still have a couple little areas, but we're going to put things over top. We're going to add some stuff to the top. So I am not too worried about that. All right,
Okay.
so we have our three panels here that I'm going to focus on using today. Technically, I'm only going to be using two, but these are the three that we foiled together.
Right, and I'm going to move on because I've got more ink blending that you don't have as much. So I've got my Better Press panels. I'm going to set these aside to use in a little bit, but I pre-hot foiled just because we were spending a lot of time doing things. So I foiled two of these branches that I'm assuming I'm going to use both on my card. I might not use them both, but we're going to give it a try. So I'm going to move on to my ink blending.
Perfect. Once I clean my desk up a little bit here, I'm going to stamp the flower that I plan on showcasing today. I'm going to pull out the entire product suite real quick. I'm only going to be featuring the stamps and the die today, but I did want to showcase that there's also stencils and a matching press plate. Um, but this is set, it's called Be Fearless. You've got all of these fantastic flowers and greenery pieces merged onto one stamp so that they easily align with the stencils and the one piece die. Now we could have foiled them as well, but I'm going to stick with stamping on this one because I wanted to kind of showcase that you can mix and match these items here. So I am just going to stamp the flowers in black to white cardstock. My card is going to have a really modern fill, but because my background is going to be so colorful with that rainbow, I didn't want to ink blend as well. I just felt like that was going to be a lot.
And for mine, one thing I want to point out with these stencils, this one's a really cost-effective set because there's only two stencil layers. There's one for the flowers and one for the greenery. But I'm going to show you a little bit. You might notice I have two ink colors here. I'm going to do a little bit of blending with more colors to get some depth and shading. Having more stencil layers can be really fun, but sometimes it's nice just to have that simple that you can kind of do whatever you want. You can mix and match colors for the flowers or add a little bit of shading, and that simplicity can be really beautiful. So kind of excited about this one. So I'm just going to start off with Cherry Blossom using my 1/2 inch brush, and then I've pulled out those little often forgotten 1/4 inch ones that I'm going to jump all the way from Cherry Blossom up to Mulberry Blush to get a little bit of depth and shading on these. So I'm kind of excited to see how that comes out on these.
I think my very favorite card that I've made for this release is featuring the set that Heather is using. I just love how it turned out, and I was able to really add some really great color to the card, even with just two stencils. It was really fun kind of mixing and adding colors together in there to create the blooms. Now I'm just stamping these flowers in detail black. I am stamping them really nice and soft and delicate because I want to maintain those dainty lines. And I think I'm going to stamp two sets. I'm not for sure if I'll use all two sets, but I want to have them just in case I want a few more of those greenery layers when it comes time to assembling my card. So I'm just barely kissing the surface of my stamp set with the detail black ink pad. This is my preference. I do this with sentiments a lot as well. I am using my stamp press tool for this one just to get nice even pressure, but I'm not even pressing too hard. And I am just allowing myself to stamp a couple times to make sure I maintain those dainty lines. But stamping twice helps give a much crisper, nicer impression.
And I'm just like quiet here because I'm ink blending, which is super fun. Getting all of the little tiny buds a little bit darker just because those by nature would be that way, but and then hitting the center of those flowers. I really do need to pull out these 1/4 inch brushes more often.
Um, is asking if I masked the stencil when using multiple colors for your set. No, mostly I just use multiple colors to, like, I started
Oh,
with a
pretty.
light and then added like a darker more in the middle. I mean, you certainly could mask it if you wanted to, but I think it's more just, I think it makes more sense just to kind of use complementary colors and blend them as they go would make more sense to me. But you certainly could.
I would say you could. I think we
Yeah,
have
for
some
sure.
from the design team for the release that you'll probably see it. Like I'm thinking of some from Raquel that she
Yeah,
has a little
yes.
more individually colored.
I think that's very true.
So you can be
Okay,
looking for those on the hop on Friday or
absolutely.
the
I have
Instagram
a
hop.
ton of die cutting to do. So while Heather is blending, I'm probably going to get going on die cutting. I'm
Good
going
call.
to come back to my stamped sentiment, but I kind of want to cut all my pieces out and do some simple arranging to figure out what color and how I want to stamp my sentiment. So I'm going to start cutting everything out here.
One thing I want to mention too, we did just mention Friday is the release, and we have the blog hop that day. A little different than normal this time because we have the release on Friday. Usually the Instagram hop is the next day, but we wanted to kind of skip having it happen over the weekend this time. So the Instagram hop for this release is going to be on Monday. So your split up chances for doing the hop and winning the giveaway of the entire release there will be between Friday and Monday. So just so we don't have a bunch of people on Saturday going, wait a minute, where's the
Where is
Instagram hop
everything?
then? Yeah, because that normally happens a little more
Yeah.
regularly. So this one's a little off of the normal routine. So
Yeah. Oh, goodness, sticking things down to my plate here. All right, I am just going to line up the twist pattern die first off with the gold. I am not going to be using the twist pattern, just the standard rainbow foiled image that, so I'll probably just set that aside to use on a different card. So I'm going to line this guy up and cut it out. And I think this is a really fun pattern, and I'm excited to show you guys what it looks like when it's die cut. Just taking the time to line it up here.
and I've got both of these done now with that first layer on the flowers. And I love
Oh,
how that
pretty.
shading, look how thin that is. Okay, so let's get the greenery done as well.
And I think Kinnery has been letting people know that we do have a lot of outstanding orders right now because we've had our big clearance sale happening, but there's also really terrible weather happening in Houston where our
Yes.
warehouse is located. So please be patient with us if your orders are a little bit delayed. I think we are sending or have already or are sending everybody home today because I think the weather is supposed to get pretty severe. So um,
Yeah, a good
kind of
choice.
thanking you in advance for your patience on that.
Yes. Okay.
All
I'm
right,
almost done. I'm just like on my
look at you. All
screening. These two stencils go quick.
right, I'm going to run this through and I'll be right back.
And I really am going to, I know I say this a lot, but I'm going to start pulling out these little 1/4 inch brushes a lot more because they are really fun. I don't know if you guys are watching here, but as much fun
Found
as the
myself,
half-inch ones are.
yeah, when we used them at Create, I found myself when I was creating some of my cards for this next release, I found myself grabbing them more often. It's just, I don't think to grab them often because they are so small, but they are
Yeah,
really perfect for adding in detail. I just love it.
yeah. Ah,
All right. So let's take a
exciting.
look at this all cut out. And of course, it cuts out all the little insides. It did not cut very well. So,
I'll repeat this on the other one.
well, look at how fun that is. I just love that all cut out. It's super fun. Goodness. Okay. So then we are done with the coordinating die because we are just going to cut out this as a full panel, and I'm going to pop the gold up over top of it. So for that, I'm just going to use the largest nested rectangle die that we have. This is A2 sized edge to edge. So I am going to just line this up so that as much of the pattern will be shown here. Oh, that's going to be so fun. My goodness. I
So
do this
pretty.
other things.
Do we make you guys laugh with how excited we get about these things? I
I know, right?
hope so.
I hope so too. some tape here.
And I was really focused on getting through that. So if anyone asks questions that I missed, please feel free to ask them again because
Yeah, I've been pretty focused
very
on all
possible.
of this too, so hopefully we're not missing too much.
All right, but I've got my 2 panels. I'm gonna kind of clean up a little here and then do a little bit of die cutting too.
Right.
So I do have a good bit of die cutting to do as well.
Okay. Right. Hopefully that is good. I feel like it's nice and lined up. Oh, and of course it moved on me. I'm trying not to tape too far in because I don't want the tape to pull up the foiling at all.
People pull it up, won't it?
And of course it kind of shifted on me. So let's try that again.
All right.
It's this skinny little die as well, so I don't have much room to put the tape.
Makes it fun, doesn't it? All right.
There we go. Good. Oh man, now it's way off. I am struggling. Vibe.
I think I'm noticing the same thing. I have
Stay in place.
a little bit off
There we
center
go.
on my
Just go.
die cutting there, but it's okay. We're not going to worry about it. All right, I'm going to go off camera and die cut this. Leah and I are just on die cutting mode, so.
All right, there we go. Now we have a perfect rectangle. Look at how fun that is. Oh, I cannot get over how colorful this is. And we're going to add the gold over top. So you're really not going to see the design. Oh, look at how bold. This is very bold for me, but I think that's going to be so fun. It almost reminds me of stained glass.
That's cool. I like that.
That's really cool.
What a fun way.
Me too. It's very bold, but I think it's very fun.
Nice. All right. Getting all my,
All right, so now I just got to cut ours.
I'm gonna go cut one of my flowers.
All right. All right, you can set those to the side. Like I mentioned, I think I'm going to cut both sets of the flowers out. I don't know if I'll use them all, but at least then I'll have access to all of them. Isn't that fun? I can't get over how colorful and bold that turned out. I think it's super, super fun.
Gotta do my other flowers and then I think we're doing pretty good for time. I was a little curious with how much we were doing, how we were gonna hold up, but
Oh, good.
right.
Okay, I'm gonna run these through my machine and I'll be right back.
Right. I'm all done die cutting. All right. And then starting to get all of our pieces kind of assembled here.
Comments ended up stopping on my phone.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there we go. Yep, they sure did.
Nothing's moving, huh?
Yeah, nothing was moving. I'm like, this is weird. I looked up and it's the same comment from like 3 minutes ago. Telltale sign, something's not working properly.
Something's off.
All right.
All right.
Okay. I'm gonna cut one more set out, and then I'm gonna do a little assembly and figure out my sentiment. I know what sentiment I want to use. I just am not completely sure the combo I want to use for it in terms of what
Right.
color cardstock.
And then here is, yeah, and someone said these look like cherry blossoms. I hadn't even thought about it, but now that I look at them, they absolutely do look like cherry blossoms with those colors.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
And that's why I love them so
that's
much.
probably why.
And I actually emulated the card that I made for the release with this set. I actually emulated off the crabapple tree in our backyard, and it turned out so pretty.
I'm Now I just have to decide, how do I want, because I have that lovely little bit of texture on the background. And then I just kind of want to tuck a little bit more around. I don't really want to necessarily full on double it up, but I kind of want to fill it in just a little bit.
All right. Got all of my layers cut out.
Something
All
like
right. I
that.
think I'm officially done die cutting, I think. At least for now.
Are you sure?
I don't know for sure, but I think for now I'm at least finished.
Okay, and I'm kind of liking like this. So I've got that
And
little bit of texture on the background. I can pop that up, put my florals, and then I can tuck my little section in.
I'm gonna go
What do I
ahead and
have
pop
here?
out the little chads. This one has some of those little chads that cut out and make the nice little, I don't know, I just think they add a perfect little touch to the images with those little middle areas that cut out. Little greenery pieces, don't have them, just the flowers.
All right, I gotta score my card base. I see a lot of love for this twist pattern. I think everyone's
Yeah, I think people are I loving it. Well, it's so versatile. Like you and I are using the same thing and look at how different our cards are.
I know.
Like
And
I
you know,
think
wait
that
till
there's something to be said about versatile product and all of the different ways it can be used.
yes, and I can't wait for everyone to see the other. I feel like I'm being really mean by saying this, but without showing you, there's another really awesome press plate and die combo that I feel like
There
everyone's
really
really
is.
gonna love too. It's I used it, I think, on all three of the other release cards I've made. So I'm really, really tickled with that one too. So there's your
Yes,
little
and we're
tease
not
that you only
showing that
get.
one today. So sorry, friends. Sneak peeks are starting this afternoon on Instagram and Facebook. So keep your eye out there for additional um, peeks at everything.
All right. Putting that in place. I know that was mean, but I'm sure it'll be showing up on Sneak Peeks very soon. I'll give you a hint. It has something to do with some frames. So when you see something about frames, you'll know which set I'm talking about. All right, and we have time and you're working on that, so I'm gonna use some foam adhesive to pop this up because I can.
Oh, that's a good
Thin foam
idea.
strips.
Cheryl Benton said she's picturing the twist die cut in light brown over top of darker brown because she thinks it would look like a basket. And
Oh,
I
that's a
think
really
that
good
is
idea.
actually a really cool idea.
I like it.
I like it.
That's a really good
My
idea.
Barely Arts glue bottle, I think it needs a refill. It has just been fussy with me lately. I think it doesn't have enough ink in it. I think it has too much air in it, and it is
Mhm.
not happy with that.
Yeah, that's no good. I love these foam strips that when you pull off the paper on the backing, they just will curve right around.
Mhm.
Makes
There we
this
go.
so easy.
Clean now. This should work fine. The release, I think we had a question as when all of this product goes live. Not too far away, friends. Friday at 7 a.m. Central. All of our new products for this month will be live in our online shop. So you don't have too much longer to wait.
Nope, before you know it. Usually it's a whole week or almost a whole week, I guess. So this one's
Nancy is asking if these can be pre-ordered, and no, Nancy, we don't do pre-orders. So you'll just have to wait for Friday when everything goes live.
but I don't think we have, I mean, I never want to say never, but I don't think anything's going to sell out in a few minutes or anything like that. So
I don't think so. I mean, I guess
sometimes
you never
people,
know.
I know. I think we're doing our best to guess on,
Yes.
but it's always a guess of what is everyone going to love? And sometimes
Interesting
we're
enough,
surprised.
Heather, this does have a side. Like I thought they would be the same from either way, but
Oh,
they have a little bit of a like interesting.
so that would mean it does matter how you line up the die then, I suppose, huh?
I think so.
Which actually, now as I look at it, might make sense on that. So
Yeah. I wouldn't have realized that, but it does
yeah,
has a specific side. Okay.
My brain's having a hard time trying to wrap around how that is, but probably doesn't matter how, it just is.
Yep. Do the same thing Heather's doing and kind of curve these thin foam strips
Definitely
around.
don't have to do this, but why not, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're good on time, and I definitely want to add
Exactly.
the dimension to it. So
Right?
definitely, why not?
This twist pattern is also, even when you don't use the dye, it's really pretty just as a background. I know I have seen that a few times.
Yes, it's really pretty when you just, I actually I used the Better Press system and just pressed it into some cotton paper without, you adding any ink, and it is stunning that way as well. So,
Yes.
so many ways to use it.
And I think I saw someone mention even just using the dye without um, the press
Yeah,
plate or foil,
absolutely.
that would be really pretty too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be really pretty as well.
All right. I think I finally got all of those little spots covered up and ready to go. And if I missed anything, I'm not going to worry about it.
I think I missed what it was, but Kinnery is winking about something. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what she's winking
Oh,
about, but must be something upcoming.
hold on. I got to see now. I'm trying to go back and see. I don't know if I can find it. Oh, she's asking about a freebie with order this month, I thought.
Oh, okay, got ya.
That's what the wink was. All
I
right.
was like,
My
oh,
curiosity
what
was
did we
killing me.
reveal? What did we reveal?
I know. It's like I have to figure this out. Okay. Think we got that lined up on there. I think the only thing I'm seeing is there's a tiny bit, so actually I'm just gonna lightly trim off the bottom so that that lines up better and no one will be the wiser. Perfect.
Going to. I know that this is kind of painfully slow to watch adding foam tape to the back of this, but just bear with us a
We
little bit here.
both had to do that watch paint dry stuff, huh?
Yep.
That's okay though. Now we get to move on and work on the pretty stuff. That
Right.
dimension is so worth it though, right? So perfect. All right. Oh,
Yeah.
and then with that popped up, I love that. Okay.
So
I was trying to
pretty.
picture it and it was so worth that work.
Yeah, I'm getting there. It's very sticky work, but it will be worth it in the end.
It totally is. All right. Let's decide.
It would probably go quicker if I wasn't removing the release paper, but then it doesn't curve as well.
I know it's the
Kind of,
whole dilemma.
yes, like I could probably do this quicker if it weren't sticking to my fingers every single time, but then also wouldn't curve. It would be more of a pain. All right, I feel like I'm just gonna add a little bit here in the middles, and I think I'm gonna call it
That is there. I did the scary flower surgery, so
good.
that everyone loves so much when we do. All right,
Gotta
that
love
one.
hacking into a flower.
I know. Fortunately, I'm not cutting much off, so there's very little to
All
be
right,
sad
and I
about
have to
here.
remember, is this the right way to put it over top? Yes. Just want to make sure I didn't flip that the wrong way while I was adding. Right, and I am just going to carefully add this to my front. And that is so fun. Oh, like
I'm
I
gonna
know it's a departure from like my normal kind of pastel look, but I think this turned out so fun with the rainbow. All right, so then we're just going to add some of these black and white flowers here and there. I may end up doing some flower surgery as well. Just kind of tucked in here and there.
at that. I even saved one of the little flowers I cut off. I think some creative fussy cutting, and I can kind of tuck that
Creative
around my
fussy cutting.
sentiment.
There you go.
I think that'll be worth it. In fact, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I might even be able to tuck that one in. Why not, right?
Absolutely.
We'll see. Then we'll have almost zero waste, which,
Gotta love that, right?
yeah, it's always worth that.
Okay,
I
I
don't know.
actually like that one better there. Kind
Let's
of
get the
tucked
main
in.
ones down first. All right. So one thing I'm doing on here, you might notice the way I put these flowers, I'm kind of nestling them in together. So they kind of overlap and almost makes it look like one piece. And I've kind of curled up the edges a little, fluffed them up a bit. So then I can just use liquid glue to adhere them down.
One.
And I won't have to worry about more foam adhesive and more time.
Great.
Because as much as it was worth it, I will say I'm a little over the foam
Kind of
adhesive.
over all the foam tape, huh?
Uh-huh. All right.
Can feel
You
you
too?
on that. Yeah.
All right. There we go. Look at how pretty. And the way those wedge together, how it almost looks like one big continuous. Oh, that makes me happy. All right.
All right.
I just need to get a
That one I need to
sentiment.
trim, and then I think I'm going to just save this little spot down here for my sentiment. In the end, I only needed 4. That's okay. Actually, didn't need 2 sets at all, but that's okay. You just never know. You just never know when you might need something.
You
So
don't
it was
know.
better to have them all done and not need them than the other way around.
100%. Okay. I am going to just nestle these on here because they aren't necessary, but they do kind of fit on there good. And again, why not just add them on there?
Ooh, maybe I like that over there better.
Okay. And then this literally is going to be all that I'm throwing away because I was able to use every last little scrap of those branches.
Oh, wow,
Even
Heather.
this one I
That's
can tuck in.
awesome.
Flower surgery with no waste for the win, right? All right, I need to get a sentiment ready.
We probably could have cut additional layers and stacked. Absolutely. I just think we probably didn't have, I know that I didn't have time to cut additional layers rather than fussing with the foam tape on our backgrounds. We absolutely could have stacked.
And it actually
Definitely
wasn't
a good
too
option.
bad. I know I'm whining a little bit about it, but it really wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna stamp my sentiment in black and trim it out. I've got enough going on this card. I didn't want to do a big die cut sentiment. I figured I'd just keep the
I'm
little
kind of
simple
doing the
stuff.
same thing, actually.
Yeah.
There we go. I knew I had a way that this was going in. I just had lost it. There we go. So it's a little touch of glue on here. It is sticking up a little too much. All right. Okay. Now I got to figure out my sentiment here. I was thinking of doing a sentiment on black, but I think that is going to be a little too bold for me. This is already very bold. So,
That's beautiful though. I cannot believe, I know we use different florals, but our cards are so different with the same
right?
background. Like that amazes me.
It is pretty wild, actually.
I
Trying to
feel
decide
like
if this
mine is all traditional Lea, although rainbow is very traditional Lea as well.
I do like a good rainbow. Absolutely. You know what? I am going to use this little extra piece because I feel like that just needs it down there. So yay for stamping the extra piece and cutting it out. I needed one of them.
I say you never know until you get there.
Exactly.
And if you hadn't cut it, you would never have known that it fit so good.
Exactly. And that is ended up just being a perfect little, it felt like this little guy over here was lonely.
All right. I think we're gonna trim
So
that.
I do not need these. So let's put them away. And let's grab some white cardstock. I think I have some scraps over here that I can use. Yeah, that will work.
I'm trimming this into a banner, I think, if I
And
don't like it.
we're good. We've got 10 minutes. I am going to go ahead and heat emboss my sentiment in
Yeah,
gold.
we got time.
Yeah. So I
And
am
your
going
card,
to use, I'm pulling a Heather as well. I am not going to do one of those bigger, bolder sentiments. I'm actually going to choose one of the smaller sentiments in the set that says you are gold. I just think it will look perfect with the little bit of gold that we added into the background here. So let's just add this.
nope, tapped up like that. Okay.
Have to be perfect because I'm going to trim it down. So I'm going to treat my cardstock with some anti-static powder.
Perfect.
Make sure this is nice and tucked in the corner because I stamp with embossing powder a lot or a few times anyway, or embossing ink, not embossing powder. Definitely not stamping with powder, friends.
That would be exciting.
That would be a little weird.
All right, we're gonna nestle that. Oop, get that little snuggled right in there. Let's see. Where do we want to put that? Nope, I think a little lower. The final decision moment there. Okay, yep, I like that there. And then
All right, that
add a
looks
tiny
nice.
dot of foam adhesive there.
All right, I am going to turn on my or my, excuse me, my heat tool. So it's probably going to mute me while I do the heat setting here.
That's okay. And I'm just tucking my final little flower in there. There we go. I think that's a good spot for it. Curl it up just a little. And then actually I'm gonna adjust it a little bit lower. There we go.
Well, that
And there's
tiny sentiment in gold is just perfect. Oh, there's so much going on this
that's
card that
pretty.
I'm just loving the simplicity of that
Yep.
sentiment. Oh, I love it. Now I'm trying to decide if
Look
one
at
of our
Kinnery.
banners,
Do you see
what?
Kinnery's comment? She can't keep
No, what'd she
secrets.
say? I missed it.
She's talking about our large brushes.
Oh,
I've been keeping my
she
lips
cannot
peeled
keep
about that.
secrets.
She cannot.
So funny. I love it
And
though.
we've been good, but now we don't have to like
Yeah,
be all
no,
secretive about that.
now I don't feel bad if I accidentally say something. You know what? I think these banner dies are just a little too big, so I am going to just trim it down with my paper trimmer. It's worth a try, but they're just not, they're a little too big.
All right, and I'm trying to decide how much of I'm just using because same thing with Leah. I have a lot going on my card, so I don't want to be too crazy. So I'm just gonna, oops, add some of the little clear drops. I can quit throwing them all over my desk. Maybe, maybe on some of the flowers. I'm not gonna do every single one because I think that would get a little crazy, but I might hit quite a few of them just to
All
bump
right,
up
so
that
there's
sparkle
that.
factor.
Okay. And I want to make sure that I give enough space for this too. Oh, that kind of got a little crooked. I might have to fix that after the live.
Hate that when that happens.
Yeah, I might have to redo that after the live, but um, we'll go ahead and trim it down. I may not attach it, friends, but I know if I try to redo that beforehand, we're gonna go over. So in full disclosure, I'm gonna redo that sentiment and redo it. So I'm just gonna stick it there for now, but it cut a little crooked and I didn't notice it. So I will do that later, but I am going to go ahead and add some clear drops as well for my
Right.
jewels as well, because we've got a lot of color going on. So I figure clear is the best option.
Check in the comments. say I don't know how close the big brushes are, but I know I have a sample version of it. I'm guessing I'm not allowed to share it, but
I was
I'm
gonna
just
say I
mentioning
don't
that.
have those, so that one is all on Heather.
But I'm not going to do that unless Henry says to. So, and I don't
Yeah.
know for sure. Um,
If we finalized all of that.
yeah, so I don't want to show anything wrong. So hopefully it won't be a long wait because I can tell you guys I am super excited to
I am too.
get those
I'm super
out. And
excited to have larger Pinkfresh brushes. I think that's going to be awesome.
we've been
Okay, so
wanting that
keeping
for a
in
long
mind where my sentiment is going to go once I redo it and make it straight. I cannot believe I did that.
time. It happens. Happens to the best of us.
It does.
Everybody. We're all human.
Absolutely, we are.
We just don't have time to fix it live sometimes.
I don't have time to fix it live, so it just has to be what it is right now.
All right. Part of me was very tempted to put more than that, but I think actually just hitting the bling on some of those flowers like that was the perfect choice. Because I think if I did every single one, it would start to get a little crazy. Oh, Kinneri says the large brushes are on their way to us
Oh
now.
my
So
goodness, what? That's
we might not
exciting.
have too long to wait. So I didn't see,
Yay.
yeah, she didn't say anything about sharing. So we'll just wait because it
Too
probably
long
won't
of a
be long,
wait
and
now.
then we can show the full thing in all of
Yeah,
its,
absolutely.
all right. I think I have to fix. There we go. Probably should have just pulled my ruler out to get my sentiment straight because I didn't cut mine crooked, but I did slightly stick it down crooked. So it was
Mine is
crooked.
crooked, so I just have to fix it, friends. You just have to ignore my sentiment for right now. We're gonna fix that a little bit later.
It's okay. The photos will show it right. Right.
Exactly. All right, I think we're gonna call that good. I may add a couple jewels after I'm able to attach the sentiment down. We're gonna call this good for right now.
And then as soon as you get those down, we can both show off our cards together and let everyone laugh at how different they are.
I know, right?
I love it. And then we're about that time where Kinneri can pick a winner
Whoa,
to announce the big one. So
flinging things across my desk here.
she's kind of quiet there, so I'm guessing that's what she's working on already.
I'm assuming that's what she's probably doing.
Yep. I
All
know
right.
these cards, it's like they're soft and bold, the complete contrast, and
Right,
I'm here for
I'm
it.
going to kind of try to keep that sentiment in place where it will go.
Yep.
Look at that.
Pretty.
This background, this totally reminds me of stained glass. My grandma was
Yeah.
very devout Catholic, and so this reminds me of going to church with her in the
Yep.
summer times and such.
I was gonna say it reminds me of going to Italy and all the churches over there that
Yeah,
were
yeah.
so pretty. Awesome. All right, I'm just
All
sitting here
right.
looking at your card.
I know I'm doing the same thing. All
All
right, we
right.
should probably switch back to.
Not that
Okay,
anyone wants to look at our faces
I
more than those
know.
cards,
Okay, we have a winner.
but
Congratulations to, oh, comments are flying. Anita Vaccaro. Possibly I butchered that, hopefully not. But congratulations to Anita. You have won the entire May Happiness release. So congratulations. Kinneri gave you my information there, but my email is leah@pinkfreshstudio.com. There's no H on the end of my name, so just make sure it's LEA@pinkfreshstudio.com. Email me to claim your prize, and we will get that out to you very soon.
and that's all we have for you today. Make
Oh
sure and
yeah,
check back on
for you.
Friday for the blog hop and on YouTube
Yep.
for the full reveal video, both a chance to also
Check
win the entire
out Instagram and Facebook all of the rest of this week. We'll be doing lots of sneak peek posts leading up until Friday. And there we are. We have right at one. We landed this ship right on time. That's
We did.
amazing.
I know. I didn't think we were gonna.
I may have to redo a sentiment. It's fine.
That's okay. And we won't talk about all the prep we did before trying to figure out what we were gonna do today.
Exactly. All
When
right,
everyone says we
friends.
make
Well,
a
thank
card in
you
an
guys
hour, we
so
don't.
much for joining us today.
Yeah.
And once again, congratulations to Anita on winning. Um, but we are not live on Friday. So just the release goes live. So there will be an intro video here on YouTube that just shows all of the new product that's available. And then there is a blog hop happening where you'll get to see a lot of inspiration from our team and guests sharing these new products.
And this was our only live this week. So we'll see you again next week for another live using more of this release. So, all right.
All right, guys, have a great rest
Thanks
of
for
your
joining
Tuesday
us.
and a great rest of your week. Bye.
Bye.